Alohu. El Shaddai Elohim Avotenu. Abiyama Yiska Babiako. Tak Kwados, Shemeka Kwados, Baruch Shemeka Olam Ha'e. When Shamu B'nai Israel El Shabbat La Sot El Shabbat Le Doro Tabe Olam. B'nai B'nai Israel Oshel Kishesh. Ami Masa El Shaddai Wa Shemayim. Where to Adet Ubayom must be Shabbat Wa'inat Fash. Baruch Shemeka, Baruch Emineka, Baruch Torateka, Baruch Ushateka. El Shaddai Melech, El Shaddai Malach, El Shaddai Inlok Lolam Ma'ed. Baruch Shem Kabol Makunto Lolam Ma'ed. Baruch Kabol Lohim In Kumor Melech Yom. Aluhu Lolam Ma'ed. First of all, I'd like to give all honor and praise to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, the great mighty revered God, the Most High God, who bestows loving kindness, possesses all things, who remembers the pious deeds of the patriarchs, the Most High, slow of anger, great in kindness, forgiving iniquity and transgressions, but who by no means clear the guilty, visiting iniquities of fathers upon children to the third and fourth generation. The Most High's work is perfect, for all his ways of justice, a God of faithfulness and without iniquity, just and right to see. May we see you. Giving due respect and honor to a head in Israel, my father, Chief Eleazar, to the chief men, princes, brothers and sisters. I say unto you with the tongue of my forefathers, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
The laws of God, the laws, the commandments, the statutes of the living God changes hearts, minds, and actions. You have to allow these laws to change the way you think. You have to allow these laws to change your actions. Okay? I say it changes your heart, your mindset, and your actions. So the things that God accepts, we have to train ourselves to accept it. Even though your spirit don't like it. Even though you do not like it and you ain't feeling it. Why? Because I have realized that, yes, we have been raised a certain way. This is why it's very important when you come to learn about who God is, you must denounce your past. So when you denounce your past, you will be able to accept what God says by denouncing everything that I was taught. And when you denounce everything that you was taught, you are denouncing the way you used to walk. You are denouncing the way you used to act. You are denouncing the things that you have accepted on the other side of the flood. Where your forefathers served gods of wood and stone at. So that type of mentality that's on the other side of the flood, serving gods of wood and stone, don't bring it in Israel.
Okay.
Don't bring it in Israel. Because to serve God, it takes a certain type of mentality. You're not going to accept all of God's laws, not acquiring the mentality, the mindset to serve God. Because if you don't have the mindset, you can't serve this God. You cannot do these laws. That's why Joshua turned towards the people and he said, you people, he said, y'all can't serve God. He said, y'all can't serve God. You are not able to serve God. He said, what he said after that? He said, he's a holy God. Huh? Those words that Joshua said was so powerful, and he said a mouthful with just a few words because he summed up the future of the nation. I see he summed up the future of the nation then and now. He said, ye cannot serve the Lord. So you can't serve God. You can't serve God with a heathenistic mentality. You can't serve God with immorality.
That's right. That's right.
You know what immorality is? Huh? That has to do with your morals,
That's right.
with your morals. And when you're, see, we are coming from a world. We're coming from a world into another world that you're not accustomed to. Because I was taught opposite from what God said. I was taught opposite from the laws and the commandments of God. Now you must train yourself to accept the things that we read in the book. That's why we all need work on ourselves. We need work. You need a lot of work, man and woman. Ain't nobody perfect. There's nobody that's whole and following God wholly. But there's a way. There's a way. There's a way that God said already. He said, ye shall be holy. He said, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Which means what? Be like God. Who said you can't be holy? God said you could be holy. I said, God said you can be holy in this place. All you got to do is set yourself apart. And when you set yourself apart, when you put that divider, then guess what happened? You know what happened when you set yourself apart from the heathens? I don't think like them. I don't walk like them. I don't move like them. I don't do nothing like them.
That's right. Everything.
Nothing.
That's right.
That's when you are 100% separated from the people that you live amongst. So now, let's finish this. He said, ye cannot serve the Lord, for he is a holy God. So therefore, he gave the nation of Israel holy laws, because God is holy. And in order for you to serve God, you got to be holy. What is holy? You have to make yourself holy by how you think. You have to make yourself holy and set apart by how you move, what you accept, what you don't accept, by what you celebrate, your traditions and everything that consists of life. Everyday living. Your everyday living must be different from Mary Lou, from Henry Hill.
Yeah. Talk about it.
I said, he will not forgive your transgressions, nor your sins. You know, where he told him? He said, God is not gonna forgive your transgressions. Why? Because it's presumptuous. And you're not repairing the breach. You're not correcting yourself. You're not training yourself to move according to the way that God accepts. And this is why we have the book. And this is why it's very important to read. If you forsake the Lord, if you abandon God and serve strange gods, then he will turn and do you hurt and consume you. After that, he had done you good, because you broke off from the fountain of living waters and hewed you out cisterns that was broken, holes in it. So now the people don't condemn themselves. I said, the people don't condemn themselves. He said, nay, but we will serve God. We gonna keep your laws. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. But we speak with our mouth, but we don't show no actions. Let's go on to Numbers 25.
Talk about it.
Numbers chapter 25. Got it?
Got it.
Let's read it.
Numbers chapter 25.
Uh-huh.
And Israel abode in Shittim.
Israel abode in Shittim. Uh-huh.
And the people began to commit whoredom with the
And the
daughters of
people
Moab.
began. And the people began. The word for began is kalal. It means to profane. The people profaned themselves, defiled themselves, polluted themselves. This is the same word that it used for Nimrod. When Nim said Nimrod began to be a mighty hunter, the word is kalal. It means that he defiled himself through sexual rituals. Nimrod defiled himself through sexual rituals. The people that linked off to the Moabite woman defiled themselves through sexual rituals with the daughters of Moab.
Uh-oh.
He said they served their gods.
Uh-oh.
He said they served their gods. Go ahead. The people began what?
And the people began to commit whoredom
Began
with
to
the daughters
commit
of Moab.
whoredom with the daughters of Moab. But we go on and think that whoredom only can be through sex.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Break it down.
I said whoredom don't have to be through sex.
Break it down, bro.
The word liznot, zana, means idolatry. To go a whoring, immorality, idolatrous pursuits.
That's what.
Okay? So what is immorality? Immorality means behavior, behavior
Uh-oh.
that is wrong or goes against the standards of God of what is acceptable.
Uh-oh.
You mean to tell me that your morals, when you're immoral, it goes according to how you act, your behavior?
Yeah.
Because there's a way, there's a way we need to behave ourselves according, in order for God to accept us.
That's right.
There's a way that, all right? Now, idolatry is what? Excessive devotion or immoderate attachment. Excessive devotion or immoderate, extreme, excessive attachment. You can't attach yourself to nothing that much that you can't let go of.
Uh-oh.
I say you cannot attach yourself to nothing that you can't let go of.
Uh-oh. Yeah, now we talking.
My father said that.
Now we talking.
I said my father said that.
I said now we talking.
He said death is a natural part of life.
Yeah.
I said death is a natural part of life. We all gotta die. But we gotta make sure when our name is called by God, when it's time to go, make sure you're right with God.
That's right.
I said make sure you are correct and right with God.
Right.
He said train yourself to let go of everything you fear to lose.
That's right. That's right.
So excessive devotion or immoderate attachment. Extreme attachment. Tamshi.
Verse 2.
Verse 2.
And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods.
And they called the people to the sacrifices of their gods. You notice the word that they have for God? Elohei hang. Elohei hang. The ending of it is hey noon. Now, when you learn the Hebrew language, when it ends with hey noon, makes it feminine.
Yes.
When it ends with hey mem, makes it masculine. So he said it says that read that over again.
And they called the people unto the sacrifices of their gods.
Of their gods.
And the people
It says Elohei hang. Huh? You know what that was? That was the woman's god.
The woman's god. That's right.
It makes it feminine.
That's right.
Baal Peor is a woman's god. That's why the name of it, the meaning of it is Baal meaning Lord. Peor, the root word is Pa'ad, means the opening. Lord of the woman's opening. And during these worshiping of this deity, there are abominable rituals,
Yes, sir.
sexual
Yes,
rituals.
sir.
There's sodomy that goes on when you're worshiping this deity. Anal sex,
That's right.
oral
That's
sex,
right. That's right.
orgies,
That's right.
masturbation.
That's right.
All these things is a part of worshiping Baal Peor.
That's right. Talk about it.
Because you can't have a baby putting your mouth down there.
Talk about it.
You can't have a baby putting your mouth down there.
Yeah.
God didn't create that for that. He created the member and the woman's member to have babies.
That's right.
Replenish the earth. Have children. Tamshi.
And they called the people unto the sacrifices
Sacrifice of their gods.
and the people did eat and bow down to their gods.
And the people did eat and bow down to their gods. Now this food is dedicated. It's dedicated to them, to those deities that they was worshiping during the sacrifices. Right? Go ahead.
And Israel joined himself unto Baal Peor.
And Israel joined themselves to Baal Peor. The word for join is Zadeh Mendalit. It means to attach. It means to bind. It means to join. Now, when you join, it means to be connected with. To become involved in a profane activity with other people or associated or related. This is why it's very important why God turned on the nation, because we went into these foreign women and the woman turned our hearts away from God. They turned the hearts of the nation, the men in the nation, away from serving God. And once their heart got turned away from God, they started worshiping the deities, these idols and these deities. Tamshi.
And the anger of the Lord was kindled against
So
Israel.
the anger of God was kindled against Israel.
And the Lord said unto Moses, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the Lord against the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may be turned away from Israel.
Okay, now. He said, take all the heads of the people and hang them up before the sun. That the fierce anger of God may be turned away
To appease God
from Israel. So to appease and to pacify the anger of God, the only thing at this point in time to pacify God's anger was to kill those heads. Kill the leaders.
Heads.
Now that's not the only way to pacify God's anger.
No.
It's more than one way to pacify God's anger. In this situation, these guys had to die.
Break it down. Break it down.
You know another way you could pacify God's anger?
Break it down.
When was it Saul? No, when Ahab humbled himself,
Talk about it.
he put on sackcloth and he walked softly before
Talk about
God.
it. Talk about it. Talk about it.
God, look, he said, no. He said, leave this guy alone. You don't see how this guy is humbling himself? It stopped God in his tracks. He said, nah, let me leave this guy alone.
That's right.
So there are other ways that you can pacify the anger of God. Death is not the only thing.
That's right.
Tamshi.
And Moses said unto the judges of Israel,
Uh-huh.
slay ye every one his men that were joined unto Baal Peor.
Read.
And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish
woman in the sight of Moses and
in the
in
sight of
Israel.
all the congregation of the children of Israel, who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle.
They're weeping before the tabernacle of the congregation. They're weeping before God. They're crying before God because the anger of God is out. God is angry. He's tight. So you got the people is before the tabernacle crying, and here this guy go walking in the midst of the people while this is happening with a Midianitish woman, with a strange foreign woman. This is why it's very important, man,
Talk about it.
to be careful with the woman you chose.
That's right.
You choose because you think you're going to change them. You try to change them, but they don't ever change.
That's right.
You know why? Because You're trying to change them.
That's right.
You trying to change them. They are not trying to change themselves.
That's right.
The only way you're gonna get 100% with 100% results, I have to want to change.
That's right.
Okay, I have to want to be better.
That's right.
I have to be better before God. I want to change. I want to become better before God. Okay, it has to be my desire, not you desiring it for this person, because it ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work. Tom, she read.
Verse 7.
Verse
And when
7.
Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from amongst the
He
congregation.
rose up from among the congregation.
And took a javelin in his hand.
Javelin in his hand.
And he went after the man
He
of
went
Israel,
after the man of Israel into the tent.
and thrust both of them through.
He killed them.
The man of Israel and the woman through her belly. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel.
Tom, she.
And those that died in the plague were 24,000. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, had turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, while he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consumed not.
While what? While he was
zealous for my sake among them.
My sake. He was jealous with my jealousy. You see how you can become one with God? This is how, this is the standards, this is the level that we need to be with God. What makes God angry has to make you angry.
That's right.
What God agrees with, you must agree with it.
That's right.
You have to feel the same way God feels when a violation occurs with these laws, commandments, and statutes.
That's right.
You can't get angry at God's law. You got to delight yourself in the laws of God. Which means you must train yourself to accept every word that's in this book, because we leave things out. I say we, men and women, leave things out. I'll accept this. I'll accept that over there, but I won't accept this.
That's right. Talk about it.
I never accepted this before. That's my only problem. But you got to take your problem up with God.
That's right. Talk about it.
I said you must take your problem up with God, because these are not my words.
Talk about it, brother.
I didn't come up with these laws.
That's right.
No man can come up with these holy and godly laws.
That's right.
I said no man could have came up with these laws. He said these laws are perfect. It says converting the soul. In the Hebrew, it don't say convert. I said in the Hebrew, it don't say converting the soul. You know what it says in the Hebrew? Restoring the soul. I said the laws of God is perfect. It will restore your soul. Anything that has to be restored, you have to get back. I'm getting my soul back. Why? Because I have to walk upright and godly before God. That's the key. But a lot of brothers and a lot of people don't believe it. Don't believe that. But it's all through the book. It's all through the book. It's all in the Psalms. It's all in the history. King David speaks about it all the time. I don't know what happens after death, but I know if I live upright with God, God will restore my soul back to me.
That's right. That's right.
I said, God will restore my soul back to me. You know why? Because he said King David is going back on the throne.
That's right.
He said all those nations that had us for slaves, they ain't going to be bound and subjected up under us. So when is that supposed to happen? Huh? When? None of that happened yet. That's Akari. That's the hereafter. That's later.
That's right.
Come on, man. Tom C.
Verse 12. Wherefore say, behold, I have given unto him my covenant of peace.
I have given him my covenant of peace. You see what God did for Lewi? You see what God did for Lewi? And this is why when you look into the significance of the meaning of Lewi, Lewi means joined. Joined. Lewi, since his mother named him Lewi from the time he was a baby, he has been joined to God. Naturally, he was joined by God because he took on, God gave him a special gift, inheritance, because he didn't have inheritance amongst the tribes. So his inheritance was God. So now you go here and take care of this temple. You take care of the offerings, take care of the curtain rods, take care of the utensils, you take care of the sacrifices and the offerings and waving of the bread. You had three, Lewi had three sons, Gershon, Kohat, and Merari. And each one of these sons had different jobs. Kohat didn't go into Gershon's job. Gershon didn't try and do Kohat's job. Because the wrath of God will come down. Tell me, she.
Verse 13, and he shall have it, and his seed after him, even the covenant of an everlasting priesthood.
An everlasting priesthood.
Because he was zealous for his God.
Because he was zealous for God.
And made an atonement.
And made an atonement for the children of Israel. The word atonement means to expiate iniquity. You know what expiate means? To expiate is the removal, to remove, to wipe out, to forgive, to make reparation for a wrong. To make reparation. You know what reparation means? Repair. How do you repair something that's broken? I got to get ointment. I got to get some tools. Which means when we violate the laws of God, there must some. When we violate God's law, it has to be some type of repair that you do in your life to repair what you did to offend God. You got to make repairs with yourself. Because there's a violation somewhere in your life. You're not following the standards. You're not following the ways. You're not following the way Abraham moved. And that's not only the way he talked. That's the way he talked, the way he acted, the way he behaved, the things that he said, how he, everything, how he eat. Your ways doesn't include just one thing. Let's read.
Verse 14.
See, go ahead.
Now the name of the Israelite that was slain, even that was slain with the Midianitish woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu.
The son of Salu.
A prince of a chief house among the Simeonites. The name of the Midianitish woman that was slain was Cosbi, the daughter of Zer. He was head over a people and of a chief house in Midian. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Vex the Midianites, and smite them.
Why? Because they vexed you with what?
With their wives.
With their wiles. He said, vex the Midianite. Zorim means to harm. Right? Right? With their wiles, he said they vexed you with their wiles. You know what it means, Zorim? It means to be restricted. They have restricted you.
Talk about it, man.
You know how we can restrict ourselves with God? I said, do we know that we can restrict ourselves with God by the things we do in our lives? Do you know that we can restrict ourselves with God by the things that I say? Do you know I can restrict myself with God by how I move and how I act? You restrict yourself. I restrict me. We can restrict ourselves by the things that we do in our lives. We restrict ourselves and limit ourselves by the things we do in our lives, man. So we must train ourselves to forsake our your or our senses. We must train ourselves to forsake or abandon your senses. Because everything you see, you can't have. Certain things you shouldn't see or watch. Certain things you shouldn't be touching. Everything you hear, you can't accept. Everything you smell, it's not good. Your taste buds jumping around, you ain't supposed to be eating it. It can be good and bad. Your senses can lead you right, and your senses can lead you wrong. I said your senses can lead you down that dark path, and your senses can also lead you correctly, according by God. This is why it's very important that you read this book. This book must be read every day so that you can stay grounded. Next thing, you start moving like your forefathers. Next thing, you start behaving and acting like the men and the woman that God accepts. Yes, there was men and women at a certain point in time in history that God accepted, and he had much delight. God ain't got much delight in us because we have chosen our own ways. I said we have chosen our own ways, and we want God to accept us that way. We want God to accept us that way. God ain't going to accept you that way, man. We got to break our back to get back in good graces with God. I don't have no time to be happy. I don't have no time for mistakes. I don't have no time for lollygagging. So your mind have to be constantly, not on you. My mind have to be constantly on myself. And when my mind is constantly on me, I have to be on point with my emotions. You must be on point with your emotions, because sometimes you get driven off the track. You got derailed. The train track got derailed off the route. How did I get on this route? How did I get on this road? I was riding this way. Next thing, I allowed my emotions to derail me. We gotta watch. We gotta watch out for those things, man. We gotta watch out for these things. Let's go to Hosea 4. Hosea chapter 4. And this is why it's very important to keep God here. It's very important to keep God right here. Because that quick, you get derailed. You get pushed off. You got it, Chief? You got it? Yes. All right, time sheet.
Hosea chapter 4. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land.
He said, hear the word of the Lord. He said, God got a controversy. Beef. With who?
With the inhabitants of the land.
Beef. The ox. Race yod bait. It means a quarrel, contend, to strive. You know what quarrel means? It's a disagreement.
I don't agree with you.
God do not agree with the people.
That's right.
And the people don't agree with God.
Come on,
I said, God don't agree with the people, and the people don't agree with God. That's like now.
Yeah.
Kemo Aksha. Kemo Aksha. Like today. Like now.
Right. Talk about it, brother.
God don't agree with us.
Talk about it, brother.
Because we eat what we want to eat.
Talk about it, brother.
We look how we want to look.
Talk about it.
We walk how we want to walk.
Talk about
we
it.
behave and act the way we want to act.
Talk
We
about
don't
it.
read the book and use this for a guide.
Yeah.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, Chronicles. Then you got the prophecy, Psalms, Proverbs. All those books shows us what God accepts. What's good and what's not.
Yeah.
How to act, how not to act.
Yeah.
How to talk, how not to talk. When to talk, how to say it.
Yeah.
Everything is included
Talk about
in this book. But we don't read this book to change our ways.
it. Uh-oh.
We don't read this book to change nothing about ourselves.
Uh-oh.
We like the church.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he spoke good, man. He spoke good. Yeah. Okay, what are you gonna do about those words that were spoken?
Uh-oh.
Are you gonna take those words to yourself and apply it to yourself?
Talk about it, bro.
Are you gonna apply those words to yourself? Read.
The Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land,
Uh-huh.
because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
All right, wait a minute. He said, read that over.
The Lord hath a controversy with the inhabitants of the land,
Uh-huh.
because there is no truth,
There is no truth,
nor mercy,
nor mercy.
nor knowledge of God in the land.
Okay. No truth. The word for truth is emet. You know what emet means? Emet means firmness. Emet means stability.
Jesus. Flimsy statement.
Huh?
Talk about it.
You know what stability is? You know what it means to be stable?
Yeah, talk about it.
Stability is the strength. Because it takes strength to remain firm in God.
That's right.
I said it takes strength. It takes strength to remain firm with God.
That's right.
It takes strength to keep pushing for righteousness.
That's right. Talk
It
about
takes
it.
strength to keep pushing for the laws of God and don't fold.
Yeah.
It takes strength not to profane this day.
Yeah.
All that takes strength.
Yeah.
Then you can weaken it and you can strengthen it.
That's right.
All by how you live and the things that you do.
That's right.
Okay? Firm means not weak or uncertain. Uncertain means
Not
you're
made up.
doubtful. Your mind's not made up.
Uh-oh.
Huh? I say your mind is not made up. It says not weak or uncertain. Uncertain means you have doubts.
Uh-oh.
You're not sure. It also means able to resist pressure. You gotta be able to resist pressure. You know why? Because you're gonna get squeezed. It comes upon a time in life, in certain situations, you're gonna get squeezed. And how you handle it when you're getting squeezed. Do you keep God in mind? I said, do you keep God in mind? Or you end up turning away.
Uh-oh.
Or you will end up turning away. Not weak means not able to resist the external forces. Not firmly decided. Vacillating. Vacillate means to waver. Vacillate means to fluctuate. Vacillate means to waver in the mind, will, or feelings. Vacillate means to hesitate in choices of opinions or courses. So you're shifting back and forth with God. You're in and out with God. You're uncertain. You got a month doing one thing. Next thing, you're back to your old self. You're not doing it. You're shifting back and forth with God.
That's right.
Tom sheet.
Nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land.
You know what mercy is? God said read that over, man.
Because
Read
there
that
is
over.
no truth,
Because there's no truth,
nor mercy,
nor mercy,
nor knowledge of God in the land.
nor knowledge of God in the land. You know what mercy is? Compassion shown towards the offender.
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Different.
Compassion shown towards the person that's wrong.
Different.
And when you show compassion towards the person that have done wrong, you know what that is? That's mercy.
Different.
That's mercy. It said by mercy and truth, you can expiate iniquity. You can make atonement for iniquity just by being merciful and truthful.
Yep.
Tamshi.
Verse 2.
Read.
By swearing
By swearing
and lying
and lying
and killing
and killing
and stealing,
and stealing,
committing adultery,
committing adultery,
they break out,
they break out.
and blood toucheth blood.
Blood touching blood, which means family. It's turning on family. Go ahead.
Therefore shall the
Therefore.
land mourn,
Therefore shall the land mourn,
and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish.
and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish. You know what it means by languish? The word for language is amal. Aleph mem lamed. It means to be weak. Huh? Not grounded. Not able to withstand temptation.
Uh-oh.
Huh? To decline in strength. Not constant in principal purpose. Tamshi, that's the state that the nation is in. Go ahead, read.
Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish with the beasts of the field,
With the beasts of the field
and the fowls of
and
heaven.
the fowls of the heaven.
Yea, the fishes of the sea also.
All
shall be taken
because of you, Israel. The fishes pay, the crops pray,
Yeah.
the beasts pray. Everybody pays because of Israel. We done turned everything out of whack from the beginning. Go ahead, read.
Yet let no man strive,
Yet yet no man strive,
nor reprove another.
nor reprove another.
For this people are as they that strive with the
See,
priests.
this is the same people that argue with the priests. This is the same people that have went back and forth with the priests, but you want to correct them.
He said, don't bother reproving.
He's giving his mother and his father problems. You can't correct him. Go ahead, read.
Therefore shalt thou fall in the day,
Therefore thou shalt not fall in the day,
and the prophet also shall fall with thee in the night.
and the prophet also shall fall in thee in the night. Read.
And I will destroy thy mother.
And I will destroy thy mother. Oh my goodness. You know what he's talking about? Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Go ahead.
My people are destroyed
My
for lack
people
of
are
knowledge.
destroyed. My people are destroyed.
For lack of
My
knowledge.
people are cut off.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I ain't said it. God said it.
That's right.
He said, my people are cut off for lack of knowledge.
That's right.
We cut ourselves off by the things that we do and how we move with God, man. Go ahead.
That's right.
My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge because thou hast rejected knowledge.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge, thou hast refused, thou hast despised knowledge. Tamshi.
I will also reject thee.
Now, what does it mean to reject? To reject means to refuse to accept, to refuse to consider, to refuse to submit to.
Uh-oh.
Those are all forms of rejection.
Rejection. You refuse.
See, it's different
Right.
forms of rejection. Refuse to despise or willful disobedience.
Talk about it.
No, submit. To refuse, to accept, to consider, or to submit to the will of God. Tamshi. And refuse means what? To show or express unwillingness to do or comply with.
Uh-oh.
Won't agree.
Unwillingness.
Won't give in.
This is not something that I willingly wants to do. I'm being forced.
It's not what I will do.
Tamshi.
Because thou hast rejected knowledge,
Uh-huh.
I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy
Seeing thou
God.
hast forgotten the laws of thy God.
I will also forget thy children.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
He said, seeing that thou hast forgot me, you forgot me, you forgot my laws. He said, now because you forgot my laws, I'm going to forget your kids.
Uh-oh.
I don't want nothing to do with your children.
Uh-oh.
How do you listen, man?
Uh-oh.
Listen, man.
They won't be clean.
We not serving a God. Look. We serve a God that if the head ain't a God, and the child not right, he gonna give it. He don't want nothing to do with that kid neither. Why? Because it goes back to his laws and his commandments and his statutes, where God said, "I will visit the sins. I will command and remember the sins of the fathers upon the children." Go ahead.
As they were increased, so they sinned against me.
Uh-huh.
Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
Therefore will I change their glory into shame.
They eat up.
Go ahead.
Verse 8. They eat up the sin of my
Look,
people.
the things that we gloried in, the things that was our glory, it was no glory. It was a shameful. That's right. Come, sheep.
They eat up the sin of my
They
people.
eat up the sin of my people.
And they set their heart on their iniquity.
And they set their heart on their iniquity. Uh-huh.
And there shall be like people, like priests.
Like priests.
I will punish them for their ways.
Uh-huh.
And reward them for their doings.
I will punish them for their ways and return them their doings. So everything that we do in this life will be returned back.
That's right.
It's coming back. Because that's how God deals. Whatever you put out, it returns.
That's right.
Tom sheep.
For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase. Because they have left off to take heed to the Lord.
Tom sheep.
Verse 11. Whoredom and wine and new wine take away the heart.
Whoredom and wine takes away the heart. Go ahead.
My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declare it unto them.
Now, what happens when God takes your heart away?
Uh-oh.
When God takes your heart away from serving him, you will begin to be inclined to your own heart's lusts. You will begin to be inclined to your own emotions. You will begin to be inclined to your own pattern of thought, the way your own think, your own counsel. Go ahead, read.
Verse 12. My people ask counsel at their stocks, and their staff declare it unto them. For the spirit of whoredoms hath caused them to err, and have gone a whoring from under their God. They sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains, and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good.
It's good.
Therefore, your daughters shall commit whoredom.
Your daughters shall commit whoredom.
And your spouses shall commit adultery.
And the Hebrew word for spouse is kalotekem. Kalotekem means your daughter-in-law. Your daughter-in-law is going to commit adultery.
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom.
I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom. Why? Because God don't turn the tables around. He said, being that we turned away from God and gave his praises to idols and deities, now I'm going to make your wife. I'm going to make your daughters. I'm going to make your woman turn away from you.
Nor your spouses when they commit adultery, for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore, the people that do not understand shall fall. Though thou, Israel, play the harlot, yet let not Judah offend. And come not yet ye unto Gilgal, neither ye go up to Beth-aven, nor swear the Lord liveth. For Israel slided back as a backsliding heifer. Now the Lord will feed them as a lamb in a large place. Ephraim is joined to idols.
Ephraim is joined to idols. I said Ephraim is joined to idols. What is after that?
Let him alone.
Leave him alone. The word for join is kabul. Kabul means what? Connected, attached, to bind together. Now the word idols is azab, ayin zadeh bait. It means images. It means idols. Ephraim is connected. He's attached to images and idols.
Won't give it up.
Won't give it up. And let's go to Psalms 125. Huh? Psalms 125.
Psalms chapter 125. They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion.
Psalms 125? It's not 125. Is it? Okay. Go ahead.
They that trust in the Lord shall be as Mount Zion.
They that trust in God shall be as Mount Zion. That mountain ain't going nowhere. That Mount Zion is still there up to this day. Nowhere. You know what it means? He said, shall be as Mount Zion. You will be firm and stable. Nothing can rock you. Nothing can shift you. You right there. Tamshi.
Which cannot be removed.
Which cannot be removed, but abided forever.
As the mountains are round about
As
Jerusalem.
the mountains are round about Jerusalem. Jerusalem is surrounded by mountains. That's why it was very hard to penetrate. It was very hard to invade. This is why when Hezekiah showed the passage to who? I forgot who he showed it to.
The elders of Babylon.
Right. They had a secret passage to get into the city. And he showed them the patches, and God got angry with them. Yeah. That's how Israel got invaded.
They don't exactly.
Zedekiah. During the times of Zedekiah, they got invaded that way. What a sad, very sad day in Israel that day. Because he tried to run from the Babylonians, but he was trying to run and change the thing that God already had set up. He said, it was already set in stone. This is what's gonna happen. But he like, man, listen, let me get to the other side of the flood. Let me get to the other side of Jordan, where my brothers is at. But they caught him in the plains.
They knew their escape.
They caught him in the plains. They knew their escape route. Tamshi.
So as mountains are round about Jerusalem, so the Lord is round about his people.
He said, the same way the mountains surrounds Jerusalem, he said, this is the same way that God, he said, I'm around you guys like this, man. Go ahead.
From henceforth,
even forever.
For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous.
Wait a minute. For the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous. Yeah. When you look up the definition of rod, right? The word for rod is not maquel. It ain't maquel, and it ain't talking about no maquel. It says shin bet tet, Shabbat, or Shabbat. It means a branch. When you look up the definition of branch, it means descendants. For the descendant of the wicked, shall not rest, shall not settle, shall not remain, right, upon the lot or the portion of the righteous, of the just, of the pious. Go ahead.
Lest the righteous put forth their hands unto iniquity.
Lest the righteous put forth their hands to iniquity. So there's a portion that goes to all those that live uprightly before God. Right. And the only way you will not receive that portion if I stretch forth my hand and violate the commandments of God. Okay? The righteous and the godly and the just and the pious ones, the elect, the chosen ones, those are the ones we got the same portion. I'm godly, you godly, we all godly, we getting the same portion. Go ahead.
Do good, O Lord.
Do good, O Lord.
Unto those that be good.
Wait a minute. He's an all-merciful God. Do good, O Lord, unto those that be good. God will only do you good if this is what you're emanating. If this is what you're putting out. But we got to be truthful with ourselves and ask yourself, am I putting out good to receive good from God? Yeah. Or sometimes you ain't got to, all you could be doing is good, but I still get evil. Things still happen. You know how I know? Because Job's wife told him, He said, won't you curse God and die?
What he said.
Right? In the Hebrew, it says, it don't say curse.
He said, "Bless."
It said bless. She said, why don't you just bless God and just go, just give up.
Yeah.
So she, and he told her, he said, should we receive good and no evil? You think, oh, everything we're supposed to get is just good? No, this is life. You're going to have ups and downs. That's what that means. And everything in life, period, you're going to have ups and downs in life. But remain firm with God.
That's it.
That's the key.
That's the key.
You're going to have ups and downs in life, but remain firm in God, in the Creator. Go ahead, read.
Do good, O Lord, unto those that be good.
Do good, O Lord, unto those
them,
that be good.
And to them that are upright in their hearts.
Wait a minute. And to them that is upright in their hearts. You know what that is? When you're upright, when your heart is upright, that's talking, you know what it means when it's talking about your heart? It's talking about your mindset, the way you think, how you feel, how you act. This is why we always got to be on point with ourselves. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 5. As for such as turn aside,
such that turn aside
unto their crooked ways, the Lord shall lead them forth.
The Lord shall lead them forth with the workers of iniquity. Wait a minute. The word for lead is pa'al. Pei, ayin, lamed. The Lord shall make you or cause you to do. God is going to cause you to commit sin. He's going to lead you into the works of doing sin and iniquity. See, God have a tendency of feeding you according to what you're into. Whatever you're into, God is going to feed you and he's going to give it to you because that's what you want. Tom C.
But peace shall be upon Israel.
He said, so I lead them forth with the workers of iniquity. Right. Okay. And with that, all I got was what? And I'm going to say Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And we will be starting tomorrow morning at 10:30. Shalom.